Well, I'm on a roll here. Welcome back to another video. I was talking up a storm in the last video, and I happened to look over, and it looked like I was at about 20 minutes, so that was another long video. And I figured I better come to an end on it, which I did. I just ended it and started this one. So, I was just talking about my mom reselling stuff and how we fixed up stuff. And that came from talking about the house that I dream about, but I don't have no clue how I could get it. Here I've been going all these months without a job and trying to survive and having community help me, and yet I keep dreaming. I'm glad I do, you know. That's rare. It's hard when you're trying to survive to dream. I mean, anybody that can do that is, to me, it's kind of a rarity, you know. Not to brag myself up, but I understand why people that are really down or homeless or struggling, you know, hope just kind of fades away when you're getting just pummeled by life. And it's brought me to that a few times where I start getting really down, but I just tell myself, nope, Darren, don't buy into that mentality. Keep your head up, keep moving forward. You know, well, one thing I have that some people might not, other people that are getting beat down by life, they might not have faith. You know, they might not believe in God. You know, and if they don't, that's definitely going to make life in that situation, and make life a lot tougher for you. But if you believe in God and you know God exists, because He does, it changes everything. You understand things more. You have more patience, and that changes too. Your faith can grow stronger the closer you get to God. You know, and then as you get closer to God, the more experiences you have that you know out of your true self that you know are from God, when He amazes you or does something that amazes you and gets your attention, that brings you, that's one of them powerful steps that brings you that much closer to Him. And that might fade if something like that doesn't happen for a while. You know, you might kind of your faith might start drifting back. Not that you lost your faith, but it's just not as powerful as that moment, you know. So when that moment happens, you feel it, and you're like, wow, this is something, you know. But the more each time something like that happens, the more it brings you closer. So if it happened and then you started kind of fading off over here, even though you didn't lose faith, and I guess here's the way I can kind of do the analogy. If God was here, say, and you're over here on this side of the steering wheel, and you start getting towards, all of a sudden God does something and it starts bringing you closer towards Him. Like, whoa, that was from God. I know it was. And then life starts going on, and you start getting beaten up a little bit more, so you kind of drift off a bit, even though you're not fading. Then He does something again, and brings you over a little further, you know. And then maybe nothing again, you start drifting on, then you're a little further each time He does something. Well, that's you getting closer and closer to God through all these experiences. And I can see that in myself, where I wish I was like right here, Woody, you know, that, and I kind of am, because I know I will never, ever doubt God's existence again. Ever since the day of my brick story, which I told in an earlier video. I actually kind of went over that a little bit again with my friend today, and I didn't get emotional this time, like I do sometimes when I tell it, because when I relive stuff, it's like I go back to that moment. But so I can get emotional when I tell a lot of stories, because there are stories that had a lot of emotion on them. But I know God exists. You know, that'll never, ever, ever change. Nobody could convince me different. I will die before I would ever deny God's existence. Now, even though I know there's a reason that everything's happening in my life, I followed God telling me to come here. And it's been tough, but I know I was supposed to. And I still get nervous about stuff, but I know I'm supposed to be here. And some of the newer people I've met since this journey, since this year or whatever, well, now it's a new year, but within the last year. And I've talked to some of these people about it, how it's meant to be, because I wouldn't have met those people, and they're my friends now. And they'll be my friends all my life, even if we lose touch with each other or something, or if they, like, my one friend, he might go to Arizona or something, you know. Well, I don't know how to go. I'd like to go down there because I haven't been to Arizona yet, and maybe I get to see him there, but maybe I'll see him less. And if we ever drifted apart or we didn't see each other or talk for a long time, he's still my friend, and I met him here, and I'll probably be talking to him yet tonight in a little bit, because once I'm done filming and stuff, I'm going to give him a call. That's my plan. And unless he's sleeping or something. And but had I not listened to God and came up here, God's told me to do different things, and I've done it, and it's always worked out. Sometimes it's kind of scary. I'm like, why am I gotta go that way, But I know, even the tough stuff I'm going through, and worrying about freezing to death and not having heat. I haven't been without heat once yet this whole winter, but I worried about it so many days. Worried about I only got so much diesel left. What am I gonna do? Here I am. It's still running. So many people have helped me in different ways, and then of course the free play I've gotten that is in Wisconsin, that has kept me going too. So it's a combination of stuff, and the help from the church. Well, now I can say church is, because I just had another church help me, and a little bit everybody's. So, and all that I feel is God driven. God has brought all this help to me. Now, some people might not look at it that way. Like, if my friend comes in and he says, "Here's $10. I know it's not much, but I hope this helps." Well, I told him that time that $10 kept me warm for at least 2 days during one of our colder spells. That's when I was burning about $7 a day in fuel. So it kept me warm for almost 2 days. Plus, I had a little, so much left in my 5 gallons. So like I told him, I said, "You felt like it wasn't much. That kept me from freezing for 2 days. Thank you. It's a lot. And and I've had people help me put gas in my camper. My other friend, he had one time come up here, and he topped off my diesel, and he filled my propane tank. And like I said, I've had so much help, and sure, that came from each of these people, but I feel like, because they're good people and got good souls, I feel like it's God driven. God brought us all together for a reason. And I believe they get good stuff from me too, and that's why we get along so well and talk about deep subjects in life and God and whatever. And I didn't ask them for help, but they offered it, and I'm very thankful. I appreciate the help that they gave me. And it was hard for me. Each time I got some of this help, each time it's kind of hard. I still ain't 100% comfortable with it. I just feel like something should be different. Like I should have so much more to be able to do so much more. And ever since I've been a kid, I felt big things and stuff in my life. And I used to tell, maybe my mom knew it too, and I used to tell people I was going to be really rich. And I didn't, even though I had big ideas for like a big fancy house with cool different rooms and stuff, different theme rooms, and I had all these cool ideas that I'd have, and I want a swimming pool and a hot tub, and and this and that, and I have a bar over here and this and that over there. Well, that was all in my younger years growing up. Now that I'm older, I can't believe I'm older. Now that I'm older, I don't want all that big fancy stuff. It'd be kind of neat to have if I was going to be entertaining, or something. I could see building something like that up for a place to entertain and share with people. Wouldn't want it for myself. It would be an entertainment sharing location, so other people could use it too. And if I ain't using it, somebody might say, "Hey, during your big place, we got this function going on. We've got so many people coming in from out of town, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, go ahead and use it, It's a good place. It fits this many people. You got all these options there. Yeah, no one's using it this week. You go ahead and use it, That's what I'd want it for. Other than that, all that stuff I dreamed of when I was a kid, of this bigness. Now, I still want that bigness, big financial abundance. For myself side of it is so I don't have to worry about bill to bill anymore, to take that away so I can live freer and feel more at peace. But that also frees me up to help people. And I just want that little tiny house that's 400 square feet because I don't need a whole lot. And if I could live in this camper for 3 years and not go stir crazy, which I've came very close. You know, when you're trapped in it, when it's bad weather, and like say, I don't know, it hasn't hit me super hard. Because I've been stuck in here for like days of rain and stuff, you know, where you just don't want to be outside and stuff or whatever. But then the winter, this winter's been a tougher winter. The last couple winters were pretty mild for Minnesota. They're pretty nice. I thank the Lord each winter for how that winter was going, because it was really mild, and I'm like, thank you, Lord, thank you. This could have been so much tougher. This was one of the toughest winters of living in the camper. And what makes it even tougher is I was making almost $28 an hour in the mild winters. Here I go in the toughest winter I've lived in this camper, making $0, and I'm surviving. And it isn't just me surviving, it's all the help and support I've had. But it, you know, not sound like a fathead or conceited, but it's my soul and who I am too, and God. It's all of it, you know. Well, God's number one. But if I was a rotten, miserable, ordinary person, I don't think I would have gotten the help that I've gotten from people. You know? And I like being a good person. I like projecting positivity to people and improving their energy. And I hope you get that out of my videos. Probably don't when I get crying about stuff. Big cry, baby. Oh, I'm being goofy again. But so, well, I'm really babbling on tonight a little bit. I kind of lost my train of thought there after I did the big crybaby thing. Well, maybe I should end this and start another one, I think. Yeah. Sun's going down. I don't know if it's showing up over there, but that looks pretty. I hope it comes out good on camera. Over Walmart there, that pink sky. My two favorite colors growing up when I started roller skating and stuff. My Sim 63s, they had two color wheels for roller skating, and I got pink and purple. Oh man, I was so happy to get pink and purple. All the guys were getting yellow and black and solid blacks and greens and blues, and I can't remember what the multicolor all ones were, but when I got the pink and purple, and I know most people were thinking, oh, the girls will get those, you know. I was getting them pink and purples, and I didn't care what anybody thought. The reason I like the pink and purples because the shades of the pink and purple that was on those wheels, not quite that color, but the color of that sky that I hope is showing up on this camera. Can you see? Yeah, Walmart's there. I got such a small monitor, it's hard to tell. I hope the color really shows up though. But that pinkish hue there, the purple isn't quite there right now. But that's why I like pink and purple so much. It was because it reminds me when the sun is rising and setting, when it hits going through the ozone layer and stuff at that certain angle, you get that beautiful pink and purple look in both the sunset and the sunrise. And I like the sunrise more than the sunset. I do like the sunset, which is pretty at the end of the day. But what I used to like when I ride my dirt bike and stuff when I was younger, I used to go out at like 3 in the morning, ride around a bit, and get to one of the scenic overlooks where I used to live. And I used to do it with my daughter's mom too. Sometimes, and I try to bring her there to early in the morning so you could see the sunrise. I hope she remembers that. But I did that. I brought other people there too, you know, because I like sharing it with people. Getting there before the sun come up, and then you sit there and watch them colors just come up in the sky, the pink and the purple. And what's cool about the morning over the evening, that's when the birds would wake up. So just as that color's hitting, the birds would be already starting to wake up before it's fully coming to color. There'd be a couple little cheepings here, deep, 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 you know, whatever. And yeah, it was just cool hearing hearing the birds waking up in the morning, because you wouldn't hear them in the darkness in the night. They're quiet. But boy, when that sun started coming up, they'd start singing. And I don't know, it was just something that made me feel in tune with everything, you know. So I liked it. So I got pink and purple wheels. Then when some of the guys started to tease me about it, I told them what I just told you now and why I like pink and purple so much. And some of them might have still razzed me a little bit, but after I explained it to them, I think a lot of them, I think I drew a good enough picture that they could kind of feel it in their mind or something, you know. And I think it made them look at it differently, because they were probably thinking, oh, that's a girly color, you know. You know, but when I attached it to Mother Nature and life and stuff, even at a younger age, somehow I got through to people. I don't know. I wasn't afraid of expressing myself. Even with my different guy friends as we were growing up, I've had a lot of guys open up. And one time I had a group of guys where we all started crying with each other, because we all started talking about the different things in life, and it was so cool. And everybody really liked it, because once one person started crying about one thing, then somebody started telling their story, and they started crying. And we had like 4 or 5 of us, and we all ended up crying while giving each other a hug and stuff. And I kept telling everybody, hey, this is okay. See, this is what we should be able to do this. You know, our parents were raised, men didn't show emotion and stuff, and of course you don't want to be a baby and cry about everything. You got to be tough in life too, you know. I mean, but you shouldn't have to keep it all bottled up like our ancestors or our parents or grandparents did. But that's just the way things were then, you know. They were raised, men were tough. They didn't show their emotions, they were tough. Well, that made it harder for boys and girls growing up, you know, because boys and girls that maybe they got that love from their mom, maybe, not in all situations, because, you know, all situations are different, but generally speaking, I guess, you know, back in from the, I don't know how far back you want to go, but, you know, women were caregivers, men were hunter-gatherers or whatever, you know. And, but not showing that emotion. There might have been boys and girls that got the love or huggings from their moms and wanted to be close to their dad and didn't get that because their dad didn't know how to do that, you know. It's not the way they're raised. Well, by being open, maybe that's better, you know. I mean, you still want to, like I said, you still want to teach your children how to be strong too, but you also want them to know that it's okay to feel hurt or sad and cry and stuff, because you're a human being. And if you know that it's okay, because it's okay for anybody to feel sad or mad or angry. I mean, it's all in what you do with it. I mean, you don't want to, it's okay to be upset about something, but that doesn't mean you got to react on it, you know. But it's especially raising children. If you teach children that it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel happy, and these different emotions. That way, as they're growing up, you're teaching them how to be okay with themselves in any situation, you know. Because otherwise, when life starts kicking the crap out of you, if some people, you know, might get lucky and just kind of sail through life, you know. But life can be hard, and some people don't get to sail through life. And not until you're at the end of the life, then it seems like it went quick, you know. But if you've already been raised that it's okay to have these different feelings, then when you're in a situation that you're getting broke down or being sad and stuff, it's not overwhelming like you're broken and a failure. You know, you can accept it as, yes, I'm feeling sad right now. This is tough, but it's a moment in time. It's not the forever. It's not the end. You know, I was raised to know that it's natural. This can happen, and I can have a tough time, and I can feel sad or that. But you know, tomorrow's another day, or but it may be tough for a while, but it's going to be better next week, next month. You know, might be tomorrow morning, might be the next hour, might be in the next 5 minutes. You never know what's going to happen. You know, but you know, if you raise each generation to know that anything they're feeling, it's natural. We're human beings, you know. And you might get lucky and get along with most people through your life. Never have to get really angry or something. But sometimes people do things out of control that just violate either your personal space or your personal emotions or whatever that can really upset you. And like in my case, where I'm at now, and with my mom passed, and my mom and me talked about her dying a lot, and talked about all kinds of stuff to make sure we had everything out on the table, so I wouldn't have anything left unsaid if she passed away. I'm glad we did that. My dad, he didn't like talking about that stuff. You're talking about dying and stuff. Oh, there we go. I've been babbling on again a long time. Hold another long video, and they're getting longer, and that ain't good. Well, it's good because the stuff I think I'm talking about is pretty decent. But before I stop here, I forget where I was going with that. I do think it's important, though. I'm glad my mom did that with me. Yep, the color went away. It was pretty when it was there. I sure hope it shows up on camera with the good color. Because I don't adjust that either. A lot of people that do videos, they're so into the video quality and stuff. If that didn't have enough pink in the sky, they will go in. I could do it on my editing software, but I don't. You can go in and adjust that color to make that sky more beautiful, make it more pink and stuff. I ain't doing that. This is the real deal. Maybe someday in the future I'll demonstrate it, because I don't know all my software anyway. I know it'll do it, I just haven't done it. But maybe someday I'll demonstrate it, and then I'd probably do a voiceover is what I'd probably do through the video. I'd probably, if I was going to make an area, like make the sky much more pink and try to make it look prettier, then I'd go back and voice over and say, check this out, I'm going to make the sky really pink in this part of the video, So, thanks for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one.